Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's Chrissy Sawyer here. Welcome, Cancer. Cancer, I'm going to do a reading for the last half of July, but I get the sense that this is going to span about a 6-month phase. We seem to be in a turning point to do with the masculine and the feminine coming into a deeper alignment. And it's about building legacy now. So these are big changes. So what I'm going to do is a 6-deck, 17-card reading to look at the feminine, the masculine, and where they can meet, so the reconciliation point in the middle. And we're from top to bottom, we're going to look at current energy, what archetype is being harnessed, where do you want to shine a light on those archetypes, what is it you're willing to change, what do you want to achieve, and then we'll look at potential outcomes, and then I'll pull an abundance card just to wrap the reading up. All right, so it should be about half an hour, but let's see how it goes. I hope you're well, Cancer. We're in some big shifting energies, and your feminine is bringing through her energy. So there's a part of you, if not all of you, that's in a beautiful alignment with this soft, feminine, passive. I want to say creative. She feels quite creative. It's actually feeling like there's a little bit of masculine in here. It's about setting fire to something, not in a destructive way, in a way that births. So it might be that you're trying something new out at the moment. Let's have a look at your masculine. Right, yes. So I read primarily for the inner archetype journey, for the inner energy, inner landscape. But if you see or feel this reading is applying to an actual relationship in your life, then do apply it that way. It's how it's going to make sense to you, all right? And as usual, govern yourself accordingly, take what fits and leave the rest. Your masculine is feeling very feminine. This is really interesting. Yeah, I'm getting the word androgyny here. And I don't know what the rest of your cards are going to say. They're all laid out, but they're all face down. So he's currently learning to harness that moon energy, that what's in the hidden field, it's pulling the divine straight from source. It's, get the words the holy cow. I don't know what that means. So he's harnessing his passive, imaginative, creative self. Is he handing her the torch? That's the question. I ask that question because your card in the middle, where the masculine and feminine can meet, is in peace, which is coming through this 23-5, which is a changing, shifting energy. Is this the peace of, I don't see any conflict here, but the meeting ground here is peace between the feminine and the masculine. Right. So with this, I get this is what's being held and getting ready to be birthed. And it's about flying way up above the third eye. Because in the unified field, there's peace. Because it doesn't know division. It doesn't know right, wrong, good, bad, male, female, sacred masculine, divine feminine, all of that jazz. It's just, so, right, okay. So that's taking me straight back from this, pulling straight from the void. It feels like pulling straight from the void, where there is no division, no hierarchy. It's just pure creative force. But it's coming through very gently for you, using right brain, feminine side. All right, let's look at what archetypes you're wanting to harness for this movement. So the feminine in her yin is looking to harness judgment, discernment, discrimination, reciprocity, balance, balancing justice and compassion. She's holding a big field here. I don't know what else is going to come out, but she's holding a big field and she's powerful in it. She's not depleted or exhausted. Managing the fair distribution of power, which in itself is a challenge, is what's going on in the greater patriarchal force. So this is a higher version of spiritual authority. This is not an authority that demeans. It's just coming from a much higher place. Again, much higher place. Ooh. Wow. There's some powerful energy coming through with this. Classically, it feels like Archangel Michael. I don't really jive with angels and archangels. It's all energy, which comes through at different vibration and frequency. But this is feeling very Michael. I can see a really big sword, and he's getting ready to challenge something really old in him. All right, so brace yourselves. This is the inner masculine or the outer masculine. And what this is going to call into question is his boundaries, where his boundaries are. It's going to call into question the people pleaser. It's going to call into question mindfulness, awareness, consciousness. So being aware of his energy from moment to moment, where his energy gets depleted and where it is enriched and uplifted. So the light attribute of the vampire is to become aware that someone or something is draining your life force. And you'll know this. We know it inside. Whether or not we listen to that instinctual response is a different gameplay, but it's there. The shadow attribute of the vampire is depleting others for your own survival. If you're a shining light in the world, now this is quite a collective theme for all empaths, but empaths are now coming into their spiritual authority. They're coming into their power, which means they're challenging their inner people pleaser. So if any empaths out there have grown up with people just vomiting their life story onto the empath, that's vampire energy. It's because the empath glows and that draws moths. And without correct boundaries and a strong sword, your boundaries are going to get challenged and your container is going to get fed from. That's higher heart. This is innocence and purity. Yeah, it's the taking of innocence and purity. So, yeah, bring love to that, bring peace to that. Yeah, complaining and codependency. So he's going to challenge some really big stuff, but with her holding these energies, I would say he's pretty much in good hands. But it's not her job to feed him. It's his job to feel held and strong and to move forward and challenge the vampires around him and challenge where he might be vampiring others, where he might be vampiring her. Wow. All right. The bridging point to reconcile the judge and the vampire is martyrdom, right? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This is huge. Let me phrase this as a question. I wonder what percentage of people that work in the corporate world hate their job, but martyr themselves to it because, insert excuses here. I know that sounds brutal, but until you challenge it, you won't find your own power. So the light attribute of the martyr is learning to transcend the nature of service to self. It's to get way above it, through the ajna, up, into the cosmic unified field, the balanced field, and chaotic field. Where you find yourself, okay, it's a different storyline coming out here. This is about the masculine and the feminine defaulting to martyr, serving that which isn't self, and not being able to quantify why they're doing it. So if you give to others and hear yourself complain about it, that's martyrdom. If you give to others because you're in your light and holding your sword and your heart's wide open, you give and that's it, and you move on. It's selfless. I don't believe selflessness truly exists, but it's a more selfless approach. The shadow aspect of martyr is addiction to self-pity. So Cancer, there's some real balancing, like polar balancing going on for you. Good energies. Let's see where you want to shine a light on these archetypes. Yeah. So the feminine wants to shine a light on her judge. She wants to move through confusion. 369 is completion. It's mind, body, spirit, wrapping up a big, big cycle here. This is linking into this. So if I turn it up this way, it's like, so very often when vampires come in to people who glow but don't boundary, you'll feel it in your solar plexus. Okay, so it's life force energy. And 100 years ago when I was studying Reiki, one of the first things I was taught was how to unplug somebody from my solar plexus because it was trying to grow. And so what I used to imagine was, you know, the old-fashioned tumble dryers with the boingy pipes that you used to dangle out of a window. I used to imagine that in my solar plexus coming from them to feed. And when that comes in, it can throw you into a state of confusion of, but they need, I must give. It's that old contract of saint or sinner. Am I going to be a saint or sinner? This is tearing down of the old religious paradigms. Am I good or bad in this? Am I a light bringer? Am I a light worker? You know, it's going to challenge all of that. So yeah, I was taught this creative process to unscrew them. So I can maintain the conversation, I can unscrew them and plug them straight into the universe, and you feel that separation. If you're creative and you know Reiki energy, or even if not, if you're creative, play with this, play with this. Yeah, so this is talking to me about the confusion of a vampire. And Cancerians are so loving, they are so family focused that maybe they're natural born caregivers, and maybe they need to challenge that. Is it time for you to really challenge that? And who feeds you and who holds you? So I can focus on the words. Growth hurts. Growth does hurt, all right? So when we start thinking about boundaries and limitations, about what we are and are no longer willing to tolerate, we have to move into something that I like to lovingly call willful disappointment, willful disobedience. I'm going to willfully disappoint you in your expectation of me, but I'm going to take responsibility because my personality has projected that that's who I am. Because my personality doesn't want you to see the warrior standing behind the light. That really caught in my throat. So growth hurts, it can hurt, but what if they don't like me? I'm hearing that so much at the moment. What if they don't like me? Deal with it. Do you like you? Do you love you? Growth hurts, heals and harnesses a way through uncertainty. Think lobster. Lobster cannot grow without breaking its own shell. Painful process, I imagine. Think snake. Snake cannot grow without shedding its own skin, feeling naked and raw in the world. This is how we birth the news. We don't know where the hell we are for a minute. Oh, wow. All right. Masculine is harnessing vampire because he wants to transcend something. And where he wants to shine a light on that, look at this. Radical self-acceptance in all my shadow, in all my creativity. Radical self-acceptance. Look how feminine this is. I've just read the message. I was just tuning into the image, but my eye went down to the message. You are perceived the way you perceive yourself. Okay, so this is speaking into what gets projected in this bloody intolerant world that won't look at might and power coming from within. Not, I use my power to oppress you or suppress you or diminish you in some way, but I rise up and I stand in my power. And what was catching me in the image is, I think this woman has had a breast removal. So radical self-acceptance is to accept the beautiful. Yeah, this is a traditional viewpoint of what is beautiful and what isn't. She's put her shield down because there's no need to defend. Wow, that's beautiful. When there's no need to defend who you are or who you are in the transition of becoming, you are in radical self-acceptance. Ooh. This is a big shift for the masculine. It's definitely a shift for the feminine. Yeah, where are they going to meet? Oh, wow. Isn't that? I've never pulled this card before. The point of reconciliation is the melting Masc. It's like, oh, I can't be bothered anymore to let you keep seeing me in this way. Because it all takes up personal resource, it takes up energy to filter and sanitize who we are in the world to please others. Again, it's the people pleaser, the melting mask, radical self-acceptance. Allow your spirit self to shine through. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. This is the bringing together of all the different archetypes, aspects of self. It's interesting. I want to go back to the workplace. Who are you in the workplace? Who are you at home? Who are you with your friends? Who are you as a daughter, as a mother? Who are you as a son, as a father, as an uncle, as a grandfather, whatever, whatever? Are you different aspects? Does your light find its way out through all of those aspects? This is, again, this is about it's the one. It's all coming back into the one. So where the inner masculine and feminine, or if it's external, apply that, are going to be able to shine a light on these old archetypes, is where they're just like the Masc for, just stand naked in front of one another. Just be that vulnerable. Wow, let's look at what they're willing to change. I want to go to the masculine first. Right. Wow. He's really wrapping up an old cycle here. Challenging his own blueprint for thinking over feeling. Ask yourself today, what do you feel? And if you want, tune into your feminine energy and ask her how she feels, and tune into your masculine energy and ask him how he feels. Well, I think, I didn't ask you what you thought. I hear that one all the time as well. What do you feel? I've got my big fat Greek wedding coming in here. His apples, his oranges, he's all fruit. It's all fruit. Yeah, I've got that moon energy coming in again. Wants to shine a light on his feelings. He might want to shine a light on his shadow self, to move himself into radical self-acceptance. Beautiful energy. All going in the right direction. Not that there is a right and a wrong, but the feminine. Oh, wow. Kudos. That's what she's willing to change. No more swimming with the school. No more swimming with the fishes. She wants to go against the grain. And however that feels in your body right now, lock into that, feel that. This is an underwater creature that's following higher mind, moving through that energy of the water. Wow. Deeply emotional. It could be her plunging into her deep emotions. As she uses confusion. to clarify her inner judge. This might be about discrimination and discernment for the feminine. See how it lands with you. So where these guys are going to meet in the middle. Yes. Shh. Tune in and really listen. All the energy is supporting you. Lots of yin, lots of moon energy, deep waters of the emotions and the hidden field, working through the confusion of the illusion that the moon brings until we break through. Really listening. How do I feel against what am I thinking? Nice meeting point. All right. So we're going to finish with the last row and then I'll draw an abundance card. Let's look at what they want to achieve. So the feminine side. Wow, what I get with this is, this is about discernment and discrimination, judge, confusion, deep waters of how do I feel. So she's learning to trust herself when it's all coming at her. 7 of Cups can be discriminating between the cup of love and the poison chalice. 7 of Cups can be too many opportunities and you're so stuck in your head that you can't work out which one to go for. But when you listen for the truth and tune into the body with how do I feel, the body consciousness will tell you which way to go. The heart will tell you which way to go. She's really learning some discernment. It's amazing. Both of these cards are aquamarine energy. Beautiful, very Aquarian energy. Ah. 5 of Cups is kind of focusing on the spilt cups, you know. So there's a question about trust here. There's a question about when to push and when to flow, when to attract. There's also a feeling of confusion with this card about which direction to go in. It feels a bit similar to the 7, but the 7, it feels like a crowd rushing towards the light. This feels more personal. This feels like it's in his throat chakra. It feels like okay. It's like I don't know which aspect to speak through. I'm seeing a circle with 5 lines and 5 more circles, and they're all aspects, or they are 5 aspects of himself. And it's like he's thinking so much about which aspect to speak through that it's totally blocking the masculine aspect of the throat chakra. Take this off, please. Yeah. Antidote. Stop thinking. What are you feeling? Okay, so just as I did then, what are you feeling? And it might be that. So that's only how it's shown up in me. Ooh, something's going on here. Okay, keep going with that. And then just start dreamscaping and speaking without trying to make sense of it. Just let the words come. Figure it out later, but let the words come just to empty that throat of what it wants to say. So he wants to achieve clearer communication, if I were to wrap that up, on where they're going to meet in the middle. One of my favorite questions when I used to do a lot of, well, I still do, when I do systemic work, is if this made perfect sense, what sense would it make? So that allows the imagination, okay, he's already in his imagination. That allows the imagination to go, well, it might be about, might be about elephants with tiger stripes. Just let the words come. So it's about seeing different sides in a completely different way. Something going on with my feet. Becoming ungrounded. Oh, wow. Oh, I've got some really weird energy coming through my legs. They don't know what to do. I want to move, but I can't. I want to move, but I don't know which direction to go in. It's like I want to move, but I don't know which direction to go in. Oh, just pause. Pause and understand something else. Pause. Hang on. Right? Maybe they don't know what they want to achieve just yet. But they're birthing something beautiful and new here. Discernment, clearing away confusion, rebuilding boundaries, limitations, learning to use the sword. All right, I hope that kind of made sense. Let's have an abundance card, please, for my little crabby friends. Abundance card for Cancer, please, for July and the next 6 months. Oh my word. That's the heart of the whole reading for me. That's where the vortex of energy comes down and lands to build a true offering. You can start questioning big paradigms like vampire energy, judge and martyr. These are huge paradigms. True offering, radical self-acceptance. Well, actually, let me just tune in and I'll tell you how I'm feeling rather than what I'm thinking. I'm listening. I'm getting ready to swim against the grain. I'm getting ready to cause some ripples as I bring through my authenticity. Kudos, Cancer. True offering takes what can be an unbearable cross and returns it to love. Wow. Wow, that's beautiful. Cancer, you got it going on. This is big. So, my lovely light warriors, go get them, tigers. Swim against the grain. And yeah, I will leave you with that. And I will see you all again very soon. Much love. Bye-bye.